what did you learn, or who, in terms of how the Spurs are handling this year, this first year? And I cut, it's obviously they got the new practice facility that they've spent a
Yeah,
lot of money on, and they
yeah.
really are excited about the ways that they can help players develop. But what did you learn about the organization when you were down there?
I think, well, first, I think I've been able to sometimes see some different franchises, and you can see sometimes where they're a little bit too tight and when they don't
Yeah,
let the approach. I think I really respect the Spurs for the fact that they understood the magnitude of the moments. So I'm not gonna lie, there was like I talked to Andrew Lopez from
yeah, yeah,
ESPN about all this because he was there covering the Spurs, and I think he's doing it for like the whole season.
right,
And it was 50% French journalists and 50% American journalists. And
sure,
so I think when you see this happening, it could have gone so many different ways. But I think the fact that at each and every press conference or moments, there were like US media moments and
yes,
French media moments. I think it was
yeah,
well handled. I think they opened the door more than I thought they would. And they were right to do it because that's how you promote, to my knowledge, that's how you promote a franchise and its values. So
yeah,
I don't know. Were you close to like the whole Cavs and LeBron when he came in, or were you
sure.
far from this? Yeah.
Oh, no, 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 sure, no, I was there. I
Was
was
it
there
was
for
it
all of
tight?
it.
Like they closed the doors,
I
or?
mean, some of it was at the especially when he came back, like
Oh
the
yeah.
first 7 years when he was there, it was there was a lot of protection of him because he was young, he was a kid.
Yeah.
But when he came back, he, was completely different. He was a global figure. He had won
Oh yeah.
championships in Miami, and he kind of set the tone. Like, I'm only going to do so much media. I'm not going to do a ton every day. Um, and most people, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't what I think media wanted, but it was fine. You got him before every game. It was fine. It wasn't for very long, but you got him. So
Yeah.
um I am very curious about how the Spurs handle this, because the Spurs are notoriously a very kind of secretive organization, in terms
Yeah.
of their front office, and their players. Even though they've had superstar players there, but David Robinson was a very quiet, reticent guy, didn't
Yeah.
say very much. Tim Duncan said nothing,
Yeah.
right? He didn't have anything to say. Kawhi, very quiet guy.
Yeah.
Tony was probably the most, out there guy of the group, the most
Yeah.
public facing guy of the group. So they've never had a guy as big as Wemby in terms of, I think, projecting to not only be a superstar, but to embrace everything that comes with superstardom, all the
Yeah.
ancillary stuff, the deals, the movies, the whatever that comes
Yeah.
with being a great player.
I think the most, you're right, but I think the most fascinating thing that I discovered while I was there is that the fit is amazing as far as personality between San Antonio and Wemby, which is that guy, he's 7'5", he's always been out of reach, out of everything that's normal. And he always wanted to belong. He gives
Yeah,
that feeling of always wanting to belong. And uh, I did the whole talking to people working there or Uber drivers or anything, the random people that you meet. And they were like, well, first they were telling me, "Welcome to the smallest big city in the U.S." That's one thing that they told me about San Antonio, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
really fits the fact that he wants to focus on basketball, focus on the people, and that he wants to blend in. And I think for San Antonio, you're right. The Spurs have always had this image of being such a top secret organization, and it's still gonna be. I mean, as you can
yeah. No,
feel
absolutely,
with
absolutely.
the young guys. I mean, you're there. There's all this hype, and then there's Pop coming in, and then I could see like RC Buford coming in, and you understand that this is a well-oiled machine, right? Like
Yeah,
nothing
yeah, yeah.
goes through the. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they approach it. But that guy with a small market team was everything that we could have hoped for, I think,
Yeah.
because in a big city it would have been just a crazy circus, I think.
It would have been yeah, no, it would have been 10 times worse
Oh
in
yeah.
Chicago or LA or someplace like that.